Love is not just a feeling that happens to us. It is something we build carefully, deliberately, every single day. And the strongest love, the kind that lasts through every challenge life throws at us, is built on two essential pillars: trust and attention. When these two come together, they create something remarkable, a love that is resilient. Trust is the foundation of resilience in any relationship. It's the quiet confidence that no matter what happens, you believe in your partner's goodness, their commitment, and their heart. Trust means you don't need to live in fear of betrayal or abandonment because you know your love is rooted in honesty and integrity. When trust is strong, mistakes don't break you. Challenges don't make you run away. Instead, trust gives you the courage to face problems together, knowing that your bond can withstand the storm. Trust is the soil where love takes root. Imagine planting a seed in barren ground. No matter how much you water it, no matter how much sunlight it receives, if the soil is poor or non-existent, the seed will never grow. Love, like that seed, requires fertile ground to thrive. That fertile ground is trust. Without trust, love remains fragile, superficial, and vulnerable to every storm. But when trust is present, love becomes strong, enduring, and capable of weathering any challenge. Trust is not something that happens overnight. It's not an automatic response or an assumption we make. Trust is earned. It's built slowly, step by step, action by action. Trust is the quiet commitment to show up consistently, to be reliable even when no one is watching. It's the promise that your words will match your deeds. When you say, "I love you," trust is what makes those words meaningful because it's backed by integrity and authenticity. Without trust, love is a fragile illusion. Beautiful, perhaps, but lacking a foundation to stand on. Think about what trust really means in a relationship. It means knowing that you can be your whole self, including your fears, your flaws, and your mistakes, without the fear of judgment or abandonment. Trust creates a safe space where vulnerability is welcomed, not punished. When you trust someone, you give them the freedom to see you in your most honest, unguarded form, and you accept them the same way. This mutual acceptance is where true intimacy begins. Trust also means believing in the other person's intentions, even when circumstances are difficult or confusing. It means holding on to the belief that they are doing their best, that they value you, and that they are committed to the relationship. This belief fuels patience and forgiveness, allowing love to deepen rather than crumble under pressure. When trust exists, disagreements and mistakes do not become wounds. They become opportunities to grow closer and understand one another better. Without trust, suspicion and doubt take root. They poison the relationship and stunt love's growth. Every word is questioned, every action scrutinized, and every silence interpreted as a threat. This environment of mistrust breeds insecurity and fear, which are the enemies of love. Love cannot flourish when one partner is constantly guarding their heart, waiting for the other to prove their loyalty or affection. Trust removes the barriers between hearts, allowing love to flow freely and naturally. It's important to remember that trust is fragile. It can be damaged by a single betrayal or broken promise. Rebuilding trust is one of the hardest challenges in any relationship because it requires more than words. It requires time, patience, and consistent effort. But the effort is always worth it because once trust is restored, love can grow even stronger than before. The soil becomes richer, deeper, and more capable of sustaining the relationship through future storms. In practical terms, building trust means being honest, even when it's difficult. It means communicating openly and respectfully, sharing your thoughts and feelings without fear. It means being dependable, doing what you say you will do, and being there when it matters most. Trust also means respecting boundaries, listening without judgment, and supporting each other's growth. These small, everyday actions nourish the soul of trust, allowing love to take root and flourish. When trust is the foundation, love becomes a source of strength, hope, and joy. It empowers both partners to be their best selves, knowing they are supported and valued unconditionally. Trust transforms love from a fleeting emotion into a lifelong commitment. It turns love into a sanctuary where both people feel safe to dream, to heal, and to grow together. So remember, if you want your love to last, you must tend to the soil where it grows. Plant the seed of trust with care, nurture it with honesty and presence, and protect it from doubt and fear. Trust is not just an ingredient in love, it is the ground itself. When trust is rich and strong, love can rise up and bloom in ways you never imagined possible. Attention is the daily act that nurtures love. It is the quiet, consistent presence that feeds the heart and keeps connection alive. Love at its core is not just a feeling or a momentary spark. It is a continuous practice, a daily choice to show up fully for another person. Attention is the vehicle through which this practice happens. It means more than simply being physically near someone. It means truly seeing them, hearing them, and valuing their presence in your life. Without attention, love withers. With attention, love flourishes. Think about how often we take for granted the people closest to us. We assume that love alone will carry the relationship through. But love needs to be actively nurtured, and attention is how we nurture it. It's the small acts. Listening without distraction, remembering what matters to your partner, noticing the subtle shifts in their mood or energy that build a reservoir of connection and care. When you give someone your attention, you tell them that they matter, that their world matters, and that you want to be part of it. This is the language of love that goes beyond words. And attention also means being present in the moment. In our busy lives filled with endless distractions, giving someone your full attention can feel like a revolutionary act. When you put down your phone, turn off the TV, and look into the eyes of your partner, you create space for intimacy and understanding. This presence fosters a deep emotional bond because it communicates that nothing else is more important than this moment with them. Over time, these moments accumulate, creating a strong thread of connection that weaves through your relationship. But attention is not passive. It requires intention and effort. It means asking questions, engaging with curiosity, and being genuinely interested in the inner world of your loved one. It means noticing not just the big things, but the small details. The way they like their coffee, the songs they hum when they're happy, the worries they keep hidden. This kind of attentive care shows that you value your partner not just for what they do or how they make you feel, but for who they truly are. When attention is lacking, relationships begin to feel distant and hollow. Partners may be physically together, but emotionally disconnected. They might feel unseen or unheard, which can lead to frustration, loneliness, and resentment. Attention bridges this gap. It builds trust and safety because it signals that you are there for each other, that you are tuned in to each other's needs and experiences. This creates a foundation where vulnerability can thrive and where love deepens. Attention also helps us respond to our partner in ways that truly support and uplift them. When we pay close attention, we can recognize when they need encouragement, space, or simply a listening ear. It allows us to be more empathetic and compassionate, meeting their needs rather than our assumptions about what they want. This responsiveness strengthens the bond and shows that love is not just a feeling, but an active, ongoing commitment. In many ways, attention is the antidote to complacency. Relationships naturally face challenges and monotony, and without attention, it's easy to take each other for granted. But when you commit to giving daily attention, you continuously rediscover the richness and depth of your partner. You remind yourself why you chose to love them in the first place and invite new layers of connection to emerge. It's a process of continuous renewal that keeps love vibrant and alive. Attention is also a gift we give ourselves as much as we give to others. By focusing on your partner with care and intention, you cultivate patience, presence, and gratitude. You slow down enough to appreciate the nuances of love, rather than rushing through life distracted and disconnected. This mindfulness transforms love into a source of joy and fulfillment, rather than a source of stress or obligation. In essence, attention is the heartbeat of love. It's the daily act of choosing to see, listen, and engage with the person you love. It is in these moments of focused presence that love grows roots, strengthens its branches, and bears the fruit of deep connection. When you nurture love with attention, you create a relationship that is not just sustained by feelings, but by intentional, caring action, a love that endures through time and challenge, growing richer with every passing day. Vulnerability is the bridge between trust and deep connection. It's the courageous act of showing up and allowing yourself to be seen in your most authentic, imperfect state. Without vulnerability, trust remains shallow and connection stays surface level. It's vulnerability that opens the door for genuine intimacy, enabling two people to move beyond masks and defenses to a place where real understanding and closeness can flourish. When we think about relationships, it's easy to focus on the good times, the laughter, the shared goals, the excitement of new beginnings. But the true test of connection happens when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to reveal the parts of ourselves we often hide. This might be admitting fears, sharing insecurities, or expressing needs and desires that feel risky to voice. Vulnerability requires us to drop our shields and take the risk of being judged, rejected, or misunderstood. Yet it is precisely this risk that holds the potential for profound reward, trust that is authentic and connection that runs deep. Trust can't fully exist without vulnerability because trust demands proof that you are safe to be yourself around another person. When you're vulnerable, you give someone the chance to respond with acceptance rather than rejection. This response builds trust because it says, I see you, I accept you, I'm here with you. Over time, repeated experiences of vulnerability met with understanding form the foundation for unshakable trust. Trust grows not from blind faith, but from lived experience. The evidence that your vulnerability is met with care and respect. Vulnerability also humanizes relationships. It breaks down the illusion that we must be perfect or have everything together to be loved. By sharing our struggles and uncertainties, we invite our partner to do the same. This mutual openness creates a powerful bond because it's a reminder that we are not alone in our imperfections. When both people lean into vulnerability, the relationship becomes a safe space where honesty and authenticity are valued more than appearances or performance. The bridge that vulnerability builds between trust and connection is also a pathway to empathy. When someone shares their true self, including their pain or fears, it becomes impossible not to respond with compassion. Vulnerability invites us to step into another's shoes, to understand their experience more deeply. This understanding nurtures emotional closeness because it validates feelings and experiences rather than dismissing or minimizing them. Empathy born from vulnerability dissolves barriers and creates a shared emotional landscape where connection thrives. It's important to recognize that vulnerability is not a one-time event, but a continual practice. Every relationship demands ongoing courage to be open and honest. Sometimes vulnerability looks like having difficult conversations, expressing feelings that are hard to put into words, or asking for help when you need it. Other times, it might mean forgiving yourself and your partner when mistakes happen, acknowledging your limitations, or admitting when you don't have all the answers. This ongoing vulnerability keeps trust alive and allows connection to deepen over time. There's also a misconception that vulnerability is a sign of weakness. In reality, it is one of the greatest strengths a person can show. It takes bravery to expose your inner world to someone else because it involves risking emotional pain. But choosing vulnerability means choosing growth, authenticity, and true connection over safety and superficiality. It means valuing real closeness more than the fear of being hurt. This bravery paves the way for relationships that are resilient and meaningful. Without vulnerability, relationships become transactional or performative. People may play roles or put on facades, but real connection is missing. Trust may exist on a surface level, but it lacks depth because the emotional risks that build true intimacy are avoided. Vulnerability breaks through this barrier, allowing love to evolve from something comfortable or convenient into something alive and transformative. When you embrace vulnerability, you also inspire it in others. Your willingness to be open encourages your partner to do the same, creating a cycle of mutual trust and connection. This shared vulnerability becomes a powerful force that binds people together, even in times of hardship or uncertainty. It turns relationships into partnerships where both individuals feel seen, heard, and valued for who they really are. In the end, vulnerability is the bridge because it connects the emotional groundwork of trust with the rich, dynamic experience of deep connection. It transforms relationships from places where people simply coexist to places where they truly belong to one another. It is through vulnerability that love becomes not just an idea or feeling, but a living, breathing connection that sustains, heals, and empowers. Trust is earned through reliability, honesty, and integrity over time. It is not something that can be demanded or expected simply because two people say they care about each other. Trust is built brick by brick through consistent actions that demonstrate commitment, truthfulness, and moral character. It grows slowly and steadily, like a structure, carefully constructed to withstand the tests of time, challenge, and change. Reliability is the cornerstone of trust. When someone is reliable, they do what they say they will do. Their words are not empty promises, but commitments that are fulfilled day after day. This consistency creates a sense of security because you learn that you can depend on them no matter what. When life throws curveballs and difficulties arise, a reliable partner shows up, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. They don't disappear when things get hard. Instead, they stand firm, proving that their love and dedication are not just words, but lived reality. Honesty is the light that guides trust. Without honesty, trust cannot survive. It's not only about telling the truth, but about being transparent and open. Honesty means sharing your thoughts and feelings authentically, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. It means admitting mistakes and taking responsibility rather than hiding behind excuses or lies. When honesty is present, it creates clarity in the relationship. There are no shadows where doubt or suspicion can grow. Instead, there is openness that invites deeper understanding and connection. Integrity is the moral backbone that supports trust. It is the alignment between values, words, and actions. When someone acts with integrity, they consistently choose what is right over what is easy or convenient. They honor their commitments, treat others with respect, and hold themselves accountable. Integrity means living according to principles that build confidence and respect, not just for others, but for oneself. When you see integrity in your partner, it reassures you that their love and care are genuine and not fleeting or superficial. Trust built through reliability, honesty, and integrity is resilient. It weathers storms because it is grounded in real, observable behaviors and moral character, not just feelings or promises. When trust is built this way, it is more than a fragile emotion. It becomes a solid foundation that supports the relationship even in the most challenging times. It means that even when mistakes happen or misunderstandings arise, there is a strong base to return to. A belief that the other person will act with care and respect moving forward. This process of earning trust takes time. It is not instant gratification, but a long-term investment. Trust grows through repeated experiences where reliability is proven, honesty is shared, and integrity is demonstrated. These experiences create a pattern that tells a story of dependability and truthfulness. Over time, these patterns build confidence and comfort, allowing both people to lower their defenses and be fully themselves. In relationships, trust is often tested. Moments of doubt, fear, or insecurity can make us question whether the other person is truly trustworthy. But when trust has been earned through consistent reliability, honesty, and integrity, these moments become opportunities rather than threats. They are chances to reaffirm the commitment and deepen the connection by responding with transparency and dependability. Trust earned this way is flexible enough to bend without breaking. Without these qualities, trust remains fragile or superficial. If someone is unreliable, their words lose meaning because you never know if they will follow through. Without honesty, doubts creep in, eroding the sense of safety and openness. And without integrity, there is no assurance that the actions behind the words are genuine. This kind of trust is built on shaky ground, prone to collapse under pressure. Understanding that trust is earned also empowers us to take responsibility for how we build and maintain it. It reminds us that trust is a gift given in response to how we show up in our relationships. It is not something to take for granted or assume will always be there. Instead, it is something to nurture daily through our choices and behaviors. When we commit to being reliable, honest, and acting with integrity, we create an environment where trust can flourish naturally. We become the kind of person others can rely on, confide in, and believe in. This, in turn, allows love to deepen and mature because it is supported by a foundation that is strong, clear, and true. In the end, trust is not just an abstract ideal. It is a living, breathing quality that grows through our actions. It is earned, slowly and carefully, but once established, it becomes the bedrock upon which lasting love and meaningful connection are built. Attention is not just being physically present, but emotionally available. It's easy to think that showing up is enough, that simply sitting next to someone, sharing a space, or being in the same room counts as giving attention. But true attention runs far deeper. It demands that we engage our hearts and minds fully, that we tune in not just to the surface, but to the emotional currents beneath the words and actions. Without emotional availability, physical presence can feel hollow, disconnected, and even lonely. When we talk about emotional availability, we mean being open, receptive, and responsive to another person's feelings. It means moving beyond the mechanical being there to a place where you are genuinely tuned in to their emotional world. This kind of attention requires us to listen actively, not just waiting for our turn to speak, but really hearing what is being said and sensing what is left unsaid and responding with empathy. It's about acknowledging the other person's experience as valid and important. Imagine a couple sitting side by side, both scrolling through their phones. Physically, they are together, but emotionally, they are miles apart. This is the difference between mere presence and true attention. Emotional availability bridges that gap. It invites connection by saying, I see you, I hear you, you matter to me. When we are emotionally available, we create a safe space where vulnerability can flourish, where our partner can bring their authentic selves without fear of being ignored or dismissed. Emotional availability also means being willing to share your own feelings and experiences honestly. Attention is a two-way street. It involves giving and receiving. When one partner opens up, emotional availability allows the other to receive that openness with kindness and understanding rather than judgment or distraction. This mutual exchange deepens intimacy because it builds trust and fosters a sense of being truly known. Being emotionally available can be challenging. It asks us to be present not only for the joyful moments, but also for the difficult ones, the worries, frustrations, and fears that we might rather avoid. But it is precisely in those moments that emotional availability is most vital. When we respond to our partner's pain with compassion and presence, we reinforce the foundation of the relationship. We show that love is not just about happiness, but about being a steadfast presence through life's ups and downs. Attention without emotional availability risks becoming performative or superficial. You might be physically there going through the motions, but without the emotional connection, your partner can feel invisible or unimportant. This can lead to feelings of loneliness or resentment, even in long-term relationships. Emotional availability counters this by affirming the importance of your partner's inner world, their feelings and their humanity. To cultivate emotional availability, we need to practice mindfulness and empathy. Mindfulness helps us notice when our attention drifts, when distractions pull us away from the moment. It trains us to bring our focus back to the person in front of us. Empathy allows us to step into their shoes, to imagine what they might be feeling, and to respond with warmth and care. Together, these qualities transform mere presence into meaningful connection. Ultimately, emotional availability transforms love from a passive state into an active, dynamic experience. It makes love something we do, not just something we feel. It requires us to choose daily to be present with our whole selves, to listen, to feel, and to respond with care. This kind of attention nourishes relationships, builds trust, and creates a sense of safety where love can grow deep roots. So remember, being physically near someone is only the beginning. True attention demands that you bring your heart fully into the moment. When you are emotionally available, you offer a priceless gift, the gift of truly seeing and being seen. This is the foundation of love's deepest and most enduring connections. Love built on trust and attention creates resilience. It forms a foundation that can withstand the inevitable challenges and storms that life brings. Relationships, no matter how strong, face moments of difficulty, misunderstandings, disagreements, disappointments, and external pressures. But when love is anchored in genuine trust and sustained through consistent attention, it becomes much more than fleeting emotion. It becomes a durable, living bond that can adapt, recover, and grow stronger through adversity. Trust is the bedrock of resilience in love. When trust is present, partners believe in each other's goodwill, intentions, and commitment, even when things aren't perfect. This belief creates a cushion against fear and doubt. It means that when mistakes happen or when difficult emotions surface, there is a fundamental confidence that the relationship will endure. Trust encourages patience and forgiveness because it is built on the understanding that no one is flawless and that both people are trying their best. This acceptance allows couples to face problems with a united front rather than fracturing under pressure. Attention plays a critical role in reinforcing this resilience. Love requires daily care, and attention is the act of consistently showing up for one another in meaningful ways. It's the intentional effort to stay connected, to listen, to notice changes in mood or needs, and to respond with empathy and kindness. When partners pay attention, they don't allow small issues to fester unnoticed. They catch misunderstandings early and address them before they grow into larger conflicts. This ongoing attentiveness keeps communication open and nurtures emotional safety, which strengthens the relationship's ability to bounce back from challenges. Together, trust and attention create a powerful cycle of resilience. Trust makes it easier to be vulnerable and honest, which invites more attentive listening and caring responses. Attention, in turn, reinforces trust by demonstrating reliability and presence. This feedback loop builds emotional security and a sense of partnership that is vital when life tests the relationship. It turns challenges into opportunities for growth and deeper understanding rather than reasons to retreat or give up. Resilience in love is not about avoiding conflict or pretending problems don't exist. It's about the courage to face difficulties head on, knowing that the relationship has a strong foundation to support that journey. When love is resilient, disagreements become moments of learning and compromise rather than threats to the bond. It means partners can express their true feelings without fear of losing each other because trust and attention provide a safe container for those emotions. Moreover, resilience rooted in trust and attention enables couples to navigate change together. Life is full of transitions, career shifts, health issues, family dynamics, and personal growth, all of which can put strain on a relationship. But when partners trust each other and remain emotionally present, they can adapt and evolve together. Rather than growing apart, this adaptability is a hallmark of enduring love. Importantly, resilience in love also supports individual growth within the partnership. Trust creates freedom, allowing each person to explore their dreams, fears, and identity without fear of judgment or abandonment. Attention nurtures this growth by recognizing and encouraging each other's journey. When both partners feel supported to grow as individuals, the relationship becomes a source of strength rather than constraint, further enhancing its resilience. Without trust and attention, love is vulnerable to erosion by neglect, suspicion, and misunderstanding. Relationships may survive on routine or convenience, but they lack the depth and strength to endure hardship. They become fragile, easily shaken by life's inevitable challenges. True resilience requires active investment. It demands that both people commit to nurturing trust and paying attention, day after day, in essence. Love built on trust and attention is a love that can withstand the tests of time and trial. It is a love that recovers from wounds, learns from mistakes, and grows stronger through shared experiences. This kind of love does not promise perfection, but promises a steadfast commitment to showing up, listening deeply, and believing in one another even when the road is rough. When trust and attention are at the heart of a relationship, love becomes a force of resilience, a source of comfort, strength, and hope. It transforms partners from isolated individuals into a united team capable of facing life's challenges together. This is the kind of love that endures, heals, and inspires, proving that the most powerful bonds are those built on trust and sustained through unwavering attention.